Hi, my name is Ala Bouquet. I study finance in France, and I'm a member of the YPC Youth Policy Center.
Hi, my name is Nikolai. I'm doing a degree in social data science, and I'm a member of VU Venstres Ungdom. And we're going to play the agree disagree game.
I've shouted louder online than I've ever dared to in real life.
Disagree. I think in real life, I try to be as much calm as possible, and also in social media. And I try to stay away from politics and social media. I try to just send memes, just send something that's funny in social media. And I don't use social media that much to even get angry at someone or even try to fight with someone an argument on my phone.
Yeah, I think it's very much the same for me. I think politics on social media is a mess. I'd rather stay out of it and just use social media to be social, to share things with my friends. And then I'll keep politics to places where it's a bit more civilized and you're able to actually talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, we use social media to stay social,
Yeah,
to say, okay.
If I really said what I politically think, I'd lose people I care about.
So I disagree first because, well, many people in my circle know of my political views, and also my political views reflect sometimes in the way I act, the way I talk, in my values, and so I don't think they will be surprised if they see the way I see things politically.
yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, in Denmark, it's very normal that we are sort of friends across political lines. And all of us who spend a lot of time on politics respect each other a lot. I'm a liberal myself, but I have friends that are socialists, that are conservatives, and so on. We get along just fine.
Yeah. In Morocco, it's almost the same
Yeah.
thing. We don't really care about someone's political
Yeah.
views because we just see the person and we just
Yeah.
are all equal, I would say.
Yeah. I care if it's a nice person and they're fun and
Yeah,
such. Their political opinions, it's whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
The system doesn't scare me, but the silence of people my age does.
Three, two, one. I have to agree on this one because the system actually does scare me a little bit because we still live in Morocco. We still live in a canceling system. So journalists, you'll still see that some journalists go to jail, and you'll still see that some people go to jail just for their statements they make, just across social media. And I have an example of Omar Radi, who just got out of jail, and he got in jail at the first place just because of a tweet, and well, I think that's pretty scary, and that scares me of the system.
Yeah. I think the, the system doesn't necessarily like scare me in the same way in Denmark. Like fundamentally, it's quite fair and open, but I fear that it becomes too large. That politics starts taking up too much space. That every time there's a problem, the politicians think this is something I have to do something about. Yeah. But it very rarely it is the politicians who are able to make good solutions. I think we as citizens are much better equipped to solve things, and so I much better see other young people getting involved and doing things themselves rather than letting the system solve everything.
Okay.
I felt more resistance from my community than from the government.
Agree. So there were times in which I saw my friends, my entourage just telling me my there were times in which I saw my friends and my circle just telling me to avoid saying some things, to avoid talking about some things. And even at school, for example, I would just try to start an argument with the teacher about something, about climate change, for example. And then my peers would tell me, well, don't say that, don't act like that. It's not that deep. It's not that important. Well, I think that it's part of the cancel culture that I see in Morocco,
Yeah.
which is that if you have a different point of view, you better keep it for yourself.
Yeah. I think in Denmark, there's certainly like some groups of people where you get like this sort of like cancel culture thing, like
Yeah.
you shouldn't use that. Among like my community and my friends, I think people have been very encouraging.
Okay.
I think they find it quite cool to be involved in stuff and like doing
Yeah.
things which I've been finding quite nice. And it's both people I agree with and people I disagree with, very
Yeah.
supportive. The government isn't actively trying to stop you or anything, but you certainly feel like when you're doing association work that like regulations from the state sometimes get in the way of doing what you want to do. So I feel more resistance coming from the system than from my community.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like we post more than we act.
I agree because I think we post more than we act, we write more than we act, we see things more than we act. I think it's normal to post more than you actually act because posting is the first step to acting. Many movements started only with posting. I think about for example, the Black Lives Matter movements, or in Morocco, the medicine students movements. It all started with like hashtags, and it all started with political posts on social media, and it gave it gave a path to action and to real civic action. And I think so it's better for us to post more because it will give us the chance to act more.
Yeah, I think it's fine if people post
Yeah.
about things they care about, obviously. I do very often see people have only posting the easy opinions, the easy sort of social justice opinions.
Yeah.
But I don't see them getting involved in politics. I don't see them getting involved in associations, in their local communities. And I'm missing, if people care so much about these things, I want them to also get out there and do something and not just post on social media, because it can also just be like a self-gratifying thing. It's like, oh, I posted about this important issue now, so now I'm good.
Yeah.
But really, I think you should go out there and do something. That's the really important part.
Yeah, I agree.
Sometimes I feel like we post more than we act.
I personally agree because, well, I give a huge importance to climate change, to environmental issues, and it happens to me a lot. Well, the question is says that you see something unfair and you don't do anything about it. And for me, something unfair would just be as small as throw in a piece of paper at the beach or in nature in general. And for me, it happened to me a lot of times in which I just saw people do things that I think are unfair to the environment, and I don't really say anything. I feel some guilt, of course, but also I cannot always try to change people.
Yeah.
As long as I can change myself and change, well, the people just around me.
I think looking back when I was younger, I was more used to just, being like, oh, I shouldn't get involved. And it's both like more like societal stuff, but also like social stuff, like bullying at school and stuff.
Yeah.
Often you would just, be like, oh, just don't want to get involved. And I think definitely going into like my adult life, my early adult life, I've looked into that and been like, now that I'm a grown man, I can actually do something about stuff. So I always try to make sure I take responsibility and improve things where I can.
I've seen something unfair and done nothing, and I still think about it.
So, agree. I agree because it just happened to me like months ago, in which there was a family gathering, and well, in family gatherings, usually the adults speak about politics, and well, they started talking about politics, but then they started talking about the youth, and adults, how they see the youth. They see us as like useless, as cowards, and I just started listening at first, but then I talked. Then I said, "Well, we're this, we're this, we're that."
Yeah.
I started defending the youth, and I felt kind of brave because I told that, and well, some people in that family gathering actually agreed with me, and they said, "Well, he has a point."
I got involved in politics when I was 16, which is a long time ago by now. And I remember during my first like debate in front of an audience,
Okay.
how nervous I was for it. But then, leaving after finishing the debate, and I was like, oh, I actually did that, and it went all right.
Yeah.
And even now, I've been doing it for years and years. I still get the same feeling every time I've been in front of an audience. It's like, oh wow, I can actually do that. It
Yeah.
surprises me every time.
Yeah, it's true. It always surprises
Yeah.
when you're able to do something that's kind of new, because it's
Yeah.
always new in
Yeah.
a certain way.
It's like then you get to a new level. And it's like, oh no, I'm not good enough for this. And
Yeah.
you're going to do it, and actually, it's fine because everyone else also thinks, oh no, I'm not good enough for this.
Yeah. So that was it. We shared our experience in Denmark and Morocco. Thank you for watching.